You're listening to 1069 Click FM, live in color.
Oh, Ruby, don't take your love to town. Hey, we got all sorts of people here today. We've got Sean, MKI, William, Luke, True North. Saw Tim in here earlier for a little bit of ass talk on the Friday afternoon. Those of you who don't know what's going on, this is where we just try to get through the wafting, awful clouds of sports prognostication to try to find some little nuggets of truth. And yeah, just catching each other up on sports stuff that we might have missed during the week. Oh no, not Newt Bar. Yeah, the Cubs and the Cardinals are playing right now, and we just watched them waste a bases loaded for Alec Burleson. To your point, MKI, about the Cardinals' recent success, a good portion of that 6-game winning streak was against the Nationals and the Marlins, who have deflated in the past 15 games. So if we're looking to call that the Cardinals are using the power of bullshit again, I would honestly say I wouldn't worry about them winning today, but if they can win this series against the Cubs, and if they can win a series, not sweep a series, win a series against a team that is either leading a division or currently in a wild card spot, then I would believe that the Cardinals are back on their bullshit. I'm not saying that I hope that they aren't, because it would still be funny as hell. But, you know, that's what I'm looking out for, based on, where they are currently in the standings and all of that. Luke, I myself am doing good, got some good writing done today. I'm having a fantastic time. We got a sleeping cat over here, if you can see this ear. Oh. Oh, you got the big yawn and everything. Oh, she's decided she wants the attention. So, we will continue with the show as best we can. Oh, remind me during the next stream, which is going to be actually tomorrow night for the Stampeders versus the Red Blacks, CFL football. True North, remind me to tell you all about the first time I drank Goldschmidt. It's a funny little story. I think you'll appreciate it. So I cleared up my thoughts about the St. Louis Cardinals. It's always nice to see them doing well, if only for how much it would have upset the Cubs fans when I was living in Chicago. Oh, here's the thing that made you bite me last time, Angie. Melvin Gordon signed with the Ravens today. So, yeah, a little more clarification into the running back market, yeah. And the Giants pick up James Robinson and Cole Beasley. Oh, thank you for that program note. I could have sworn it was tomorrow night. I apologize for that. That is my fault. Ah, and that was a cat's foot going and knocking around my lighting settings on my phone. Just click that app off in the meantime. Thank you, Angie, for doing everything that you do. Very much appreciated. You're a great help. Okay, so before I get any further things wrong, I would like to thank our sponsor for this afternoon's show, which is Green River Soda. It is the one and only soda that I promise you looks, smells, and yes, indeed does taste like a Green River. Oh, yeah. Oh, that Green River taste has been spilled all over my clothes. Yeah, these are going to go right in the washing machine. Woohoo. All right, so where did I leave off before I had to correct the scheduling? Oh yeah, James Robinson and Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, I don't think that's too much of a problem. Just hope that he doesn't get the rest of the locker room hooked on ivermectin or something like that. But James Robinson, I think this is great. I have been a fan of James Robinson since he came into the league for the fact that he has been able to essentially earn himself the notice of managers and teams around the league just of how well he did to get onto Jacksonville's roster for being undrafted and make an impact for them. It was a little impact because of circumstances and whatnot, but he's been able to keep working, and that is probably the biggest goal that any undrafted player has is to be able to get that and have it be a job for them every day. So I'm just glad to see that he's doing well. I don't think it's the Giants trying to pull leverage with Saquon Barkley. Well, we'll just go with him. If you don't show up. It could also be that they want to make a good faith effort that they will try to protect Saquon to keep him from getting injured if he plays during a franchise tag year. Because, they get a two-back system, maybe add in a third person. That could reduce a great deal of the load for Saquon and, reduce the possibility of him getting injured. Exactly, William. Oh, Ishii's lurking. Hello, Ishii. Has anything dangerous happened with any of the teams that you love? I hope not. Meanwhile, with a fielding error for Chicago, Arenado is on first base and Contreras is up to bat. Yeah, I agree, William. I think the James Robinson signing is good. And I think that is the best case scenario for what I think the Giants might have been looking for. At least I hope that's how they could pitch it to Saquon. At least so that he can play on the tag, and then if he ends this season okay, he can go get his money somewhere else, and things will work out for everybody. But I'm a weirdo optimist, and Contreras gets hit by a pitch. Oh my goodness, 2 men on base now for the Cards. Oh yeah, that's also going on. We're up to the 4th out of a possible 5 tests for the Ashes now. The cricket set up between England and Australia, and last I checked, there was seemed a very good chance that England was going to take the 4th test away from the Australians. So yeah, I'd say considering they were down 2-0 in this series, that is quite an accomplishment in itself for England cricket. Um, is there a reason the Northwestern hazing harassment story is not a bigger deal? Because the hockey version's got much more press. Yeah, I think Northwestern, because it is, well, considered a highly regarded university, has a lot more people that are willing to go to bat for it. It kind of like props up the economy of Evanston, which is to the north of Chicago. And Tyler O'Neill has flied out. All right, so that's one out, correct? Oh, that was it. That's the ending. Okay, never mind. Oh yeah, you've got yourself a good tattoo now. So, I think things even out. Your team did really well. You got a badass tattoo. Either England will win or the weather will win. And also, I think colleges are allowed to get away with this shit much more with the boys will be boys mentality that is allowed to be maintained in college sports. Hey. Oh, we've got weather problems for the last 2 days. Well, as I, as we all know, as the world knows, Luke, England is known for being consistently sunny and clear and never overcast, foggy, or damp or humid. So I think you guys are going to be great. I think you guys are going to be in great shape. Um, NFL in the and the running backs salary issue is, as much as people will point to, the balance of power, you know, it's more of a passing game now. The thing is, you still need the running backs. Otherwise, they can just if you're not feeling challenged by their running game, and they're never going to do it, you can just rush three every time and clog the field. Goodbye, Ishii. So you still have to have a running game. You still you still have to pay them what you think they're worth. And I'll be honest, I don't have an idea for any solution or for who is to blame specifically. Hmm. Well, yeah, but there have also been, um, there's like a new vanguard of kickers who are, pushing the limits of what's possible, as we saw with, as we've seen with one Justin Tucker. So here's my thought. Here's my thought. I think if the QB, like some have pointed out, is becoming more of a hybrid position and it's going to stay that way for the foreseeable future because they're starting to find QBs who are not afraid to use their legs and take a hit. I think the running back position may have to evolve in the same way. I think it would not hurt. it would not hurt, I think, to maybe put the running backs in use in some ways that teams aren't expecting. And that's all I will say about that. Yeah, there's I don't know whatever conspiracy theories are out there. I try not to listen to that. Yes, exactly. Dual threat quarterbacks, MKI. Hmm. Well, either way, whether in fighting in a ring or playing football, it is still doing damage to your body. Like playing on the offensive defensive lines is like going through like several thousand miniature low speed car collisions in your life, and it has gradual damage to your body over time. Sooner or later it catches up with everybody. And yes, the running backs are in a much more have a much more dangerous position because of the nature of their job, but I just think that we need to get some creativity back into how we look at running backs. And, consider that we need to still have them to keep the passing game open. But, think outside the little box that you keep all the little players in. Okay? And I leave it at that. Oh, yes. Women's World Cup is going to be starting tonight. I think 7 p.m. Eastern. The U.S. will be playing Vietnam. Yeah, if you could hear the helicopters in the background, that's where my mind went to. And, but the tone that I've been getting from all the advertisements that I've been seeing over and over again that have been popping up for just about every game is there anybody who can take the Americans down? And my well, I had two thoughts. One was, why are you tempting fate? And the second one was, I hope somebody does. I genuinely do. You you know, I mean, it wouldn't be as fun as the time that the USA men's basketball team got their teeth kicked in at the Olympics, but you know, it would have its own charm. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm not going to become a Washington fan again. The bad man is gone now. Yes, I know. Dan Snyder has officially signed the team over to Josh Harris and his clown car of investors. Um, I've for some of you this will be repetitive because part of it is my story of how is part of this is essentially part of my long story of how I became a Lions fan, but I grew up on the East Coast in the DC area. And you know, because of that and because the year I was born was the day that the Colts got stolen out of Baltimore. That's the Yep, it was the year the Colts got stolen out of Baltimore. And so there was only the Washington team. And root for them they did because they were so damn successful in the 80s, even when they dared to get a quarterback. No big deal, just happened to win them a Super Bowl. But, MKI mentions the Philippines played their debut game against Switzerland. No, and they didn't do too bad, even though they lost 2-0. Between CONCACAF and the European champions, maybe. No. Let me finish. Now, before Dan Snyder, the guy who owned Washington team was a dude named Jack Kent Cook. And everybody had a pretty positive opinion of him as an owner. As a human being, not so much. Like his divorce proceedings and will and shit and stuff that came out about how he treated his family, awful. But it was pretty well agreed that he ran the team well. They stayed, relatively consistent the whole time he was there. He scraped off effectively most of the muck from the previous owner, George Preston Marshall, who really loved that they were named the Redskins and insisted on not playing Dixie before every Washington home game, and refused to integrate until the federal government forced him to, with the threat that they would not let him build what would eventually become RFK Stadium if he kept black players off his team. Yes. Yes, that is true. He also formerly owned the Lakers and the Kings, which is how they ended up with some of the owners that they did, because Jack Kent Cook died. And for whatever reason, the people who were handling where Washington was going to go did not want to accept a bid from his son, even though he had some local investors behind him, and they were going to, try to run it the same way his dad would have. Nope. The Jack Kent Cook Foundation. Oh, he sold them to Dr. Jerry Buss. Okay. So they decided that, no, the team will go to this guy named Dan Snyder, who made his money in Six Flags. And so I guess it should make sense in retrospect that the dude who made most of his money off of an amusement park would turn the team into a fucking spectacle. Now, we gave him the benefit of the doubt for the first few years. And then we started seeing repeating patterns. Word of him interfering with coaching decisions and roster decisions, and managers basically just being puppets for him. I've mentioned before of him basically, running afoul of the law, silencing critics around DC. And my mom actually worked with a Washington cheerleader. And got to hear about how damn good the culture was from her. But she couldn't quit. Thought it was a great opportunity. Would really help her career. I think it was actually pretty early on is that I realized that the team was struggling and it was becoming even it was becoming messy. Just messy. Like revolving door of coaches and players and just I think it got to a certain point where I just got too angry watching the team. Like I watching Washington play football was essentially me just being pissed off for 3 hours because everything that the team did, the moves that they made, they were just awful, frustrating, occasionally mind-boggling. And I was just tired of supporting it. And the worst things got over the years after I checked out against them, you know, it made sense. More stories I heard, it made sense. And I would say that I am hopeful about what Josh Harris will do with the Commanders. Point out that a change in ownership, even if it is just going from, father to son, can be a big thing for a team. I would have pointed to the Chicago Blackhawks when Rocky Wirtz and them, but that all got uh, tainted, let's say. No, I think that was either just before or just after I stopped paying attention. So instead, I'm going to point to one that has happened recently, and it was the reason why I was telling people to pump their brakes when they were criticizing the Detroit Lions ownership, the choices they were making for staff in 2021 and 2022. Because we've seen from other teams that building this kind of stuff takes time. And I think the thing that killed the Lions over the years was just sort of apathy. It didn't feel like despite having some of the most, diehard and loyal fans in the NFL, ownership could give a rat crap whether they won or not. And then we finally had somebody who did. That's what it feels like now. The owner actually wants to win, not just, have the team and make the money off of it. Yeah, I think that's going to be. I think it'll happen when it needs to happen, MKI. And and when I do, I hope it's part of something magical. The best part of watching the Red Sox uh, go on to win their first World Series in almost 100 years. It was the fact that they spanked the Yankees along the way. So if the Lions can make sure to win a Thanksgiving Day game on the way to something greater, it would fit very nicely. And yeah, that think of where we are now to a couple of years ago when it was the biggest joke of the off season, while people were declaring that they would run through a wall for Dan Campbell just because of his energy, and everybody else was like, "This guy is going to be a fucking joke, and we can't wait to watch it all burn." And now here we are. The NFC North is uncertainty because it's going to be Jordan Love's first year under center as starter. Yeah, we're not there yet. I don't think we are there yet. But I was just saying, my point is, True North, is that it would make the ending even sweeter if the events lined up in that way. I'm not saying they will this year, but it would help. The Lions or Washington can win by smacking the Cowboys out of the playoffs. Yes, that would be amazing. What if the Lions win the NFC North? Ooh. Damn. What if the Lions win the NFC North? We're going to have to do something special if the Lions win the NFC North. Oh, we definitely will. Let me think on that one, MKI. Let me think. Oh, yeah, no, well, the thing is, Tim, honest truth is, I think these days, LQ and Sydney are considered the Lions fans of the the Grossi posse. I'm kind of a background figure, but no, I'll be happy. I'm sure Kirsten will be just thrilled. I've probably told the story. I'll tell again. I went to college with a girl from Boston, hardcore Red Sox fan. After the Red Sox won the World Series that year, she didn't show up to class for 3 days. Stomach flu. So yeah, I would expect, you know, if the Lions do happen to win the NFC North, that LQ is going to party so hard that she only gets 102% on her next test. Yeah, yeah, that was a shame. That would have been interesting to see, how much focus, that would have, I guess, the ownership would have put on, you know, looking over both the Red Sox and Washington at the same time, whatever their name is going to be, because apparently they announced another possible name change, and I'm so tired of it. However, I did read a comment today that gave me a bit of pause, and it was just from a Philadelphia 76ers fan who told us that the pendulum was about to swing the other way, that we're about to get a man who, for lack of a better word, doesn't really appear in public or engage with the community. So, yeah, I'm sure that people will be glad to not have the football owner's name in the front serious news part of the newspaper more often than the sports section of the newspapers. So I think that'll be the victory for Washington for the next few years. The fact that it'll just be the play of the team that is getting the focus and not the antics of whoever is paying the checks. Yeah, I need to get my eyes on some Orioles info and find out what the hell is going on now. They're leading the AL East, and I think right now they technically have the best winning percentage in the American League. So, welcome to this season. Exactly. The same people own the New Jersey Devils as well. Yeah, we don't know anything about him, but right now he's better than having Dan Snyder anywhere near that thing. I don't know if they'll fix FedEx or maybe just let, the earth swallow it up, which I hope will be a possibility because that'd just be a really cool video. They would get all the views on YouTube from it. Yeah. Yeah, the post All-Star break is doing some weird things to teams. Reds are falling off, Marlins, the Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah. I think they started the first part of demolition on RFK Stadium though, so that's not really an option anymore. But maybe they will who knows? Maybe they'll just build another one over it. Make RFK Part 2. Could even bring back the HF Festival. Who knows? They bought a Rocket League team. Dang. All sorts of diversifying going on in the halls of sports ownership, man. I'm surprised that stadium is still named FedEx. I suppose because FedEx appreciates the advertising, but nobody else wanted to change it. And yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, I think, yeah, he just wanted to get paid. I don't buy it from him anymore, and I I am skeptical about how much he will actually help the Titans this season. And this is not to say I don't believe in, Mike Vrabel, because he seems like one of the few coaches that not only cares like hell about his team, but is going uh, as working his ass off for them. But I think, unfortunately, I think it's Tannehill and the fact that they haven't been able to do anything, and they just seem kind of lost at QB at the moment. It's I think it's gonna be a rough couple of years for the Titans. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Derrick Henry is to present day Titans as Barry Sanders is to Golden Age Detroit Lions, or 80s 90s Detroit Lions. You get what I'm saying. Uh, I don't disagree with you there, MKI. If I had an opportunity to get some revenge back at the team that dicked me around, take it. I don't know about dying. I don't know about dying breed, but like I said, I think that they just have to start getting a little bit more creative with how we use the running backs, and that would even include what we consider the bell cow running backs. Honestly, I don't think it hits TV mainstream for a good while. I mean, there's a possibility it might start creeping its way up the streaming services. I mean, there's even a channel for the American Cornhole League on my Fubo. So, they're still willing to put any sort of damn channel together for things. I think it's going to have to be a matter of not just not just figuring out a method of presentation that can make it more exciting and doesn't just feel like watching a Twitch stream, but also getting it to, view the sport in a way that can, help people, can help, I guess, help viewers into it, help them into the broadcast, like, how announcers are supposed to do. Yeah, there's a cornhole league. Well, yeah, it's honestly why a lot of them have been, acquiring media libraries because they want to have something else that they can make money on before this source dries up. Um, Maybe when we start having more air quality warning days and we start seeing the blimps that advertise a new life in the off-world colonies. Oh yeah, the regional sports networks are dying, but it is a shame, I will say, but even RKO pictures went away and only survives by grace and glory of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Mm. Uh, I gotta admit, MKI, I don't have a favorite sports theme, but I do have a favorite TV show theme. And it also happens to be a Kraftwerk song. For a period of time in the 80s, this odd educational show called Newton's Apple aired on TBS. And for a few years of that run, they somehow got away with using the song Ruckzuck by Kraftwerk for their title theme. And then eventually the band got wind of it and they had to do a sound alike for their remaining seasons. But the fact that they were able to get away with using German electronic music on a PBS station for a show was, and it didn't even, and it sounded just like a normal theme song to a show. That was the great thing of it. Yeah. More odd memories from inside the head box. All right. Now that does it. As everybody else compares their favorite themes, and once again, I really can't compete and contribute to the conversation because they kind of just are out of my head. Let me go through my notes real quick, make sure that there's nothing else that I had missed. Nope. Yep, I think that's it. I have run through everything that I wanted to talk about today. And the mug of soda is empty, so I think that means, unfortunately, that I've come to the end of another session of Ass Talk because I don't want to keep y'all here for longer than we need, and I don't want to just start babbling about nothing. That's just a waste of my time and yours. So that's gonna do it. Thank you everybody for tuning in, contributing to the conversation, keeping me informed on some things, and I will see you for Stampeders versus the Red Blacks. We will be playing bingo. I hope to see you there. This is Jim B on 106.9 Click FM. Good night, Milwaukee, wherever you are.